Andrew with Nick. Oh wait, it just said live on my phone
Yes.
right now. I don't know if that's a delay or not, but we are live. It's Andrew, it's Nick. There's a
What's
seven
up?
second delay that pops up on my phone. So we're here, we're gonna talk about Eternals. Probably just Eternals, maybe a few other things real quick to really
Yeah.
get it through. But what's going on? What up, Nick?
What's up?
Yeah,
How's everyone
yeah.
doing?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
how
did
do
you?
shit, I guess we could figure this out how we gonna do this. Like, because we want to just talk about Eternals basically. Like,
Yeah, we could do that. Then we could go into like the wrestling and shit like that that you showed me. But
all right, so let's start with Eternals. Like, basically, how did you feel about Eternals then?
well, I don't think it's the worst movie Marvel ever made, but I don't think it's up there. It's probably there with. It's probably like on par with some of the worst movies,
Mm.
but I don't think it's like the worst by any means.
It
Like,
didn't really have a bad. Like, honestly, I enjoyed it a lot more than I was expecting to enjoy it. Like, not like, oh my god, I'm gonna watch this mad times, but I was like, oh, I'm not actually like bored. You know, like it was actually somewhat enjoyable.
yeah, I think like they had the opportunity to do a lot more.
Mm.
Um, being that they're supposed to be the people that were there in the beginning, so they could have explained how like like a Spider-Man or Bruce Banner or even the X-Men, they
Yeah.
have a gene in them that the reason why once they get bit by a radioactive spider
Mm.
or in a gamma explosion that they didn't die like a normal human would is because they have a like a celestial gene in them to gain those powers. And then the
So
X gene is kind of like a deviant gene, so that would have been cool if they explained it like that.
yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I could say honestly about the movie that was kind of weird. Like, I was trying to like get into the characters, and then it was like, all right, the deviants, they were making them look kind of cool. Like, they were actually showing like a change in them. And then fucking randomly, they were just like, you know what? We're gonna just make them not really matter, and it's all about this
Yeah,
giant ass thing, you know. And I was
yeah.
like, damn, I just killed the character that was becoming interesting throughout the movie. Like that part
See
kind of
that?
got me a little mad. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that's what kind of got me mad too, because I was like, you could have done a way better job, and you didn't do nothing with this guy that you're building up to be your main villain.
Hmm.
Like it didn't. That's why I was just like, that was really fucking dumb. And in
Yeah.
the comic books, the deviants are also smart. Like they're not dumb, weird looking animal creatures. They just look weird,
Hmm.
but they are smart. They have their own little kingdoms and shit like that. Which is
Yeah.
like, all right, you could explain it how you explained it, but damn, you built up this guy and then you kill him off that quick. Like you should have had a big ass fight scene with him
That would have been
involved in
cool.
it.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
have been actually cool. Like, cause once he got one of the last dude's powers that he like morphed into more like the human shit, like
yeah,
that shit was cool. Like I was like, oh, cool, it's gonna become something like that. Then they were just like, nah, we good. Like
yeah. And it would have
they
been
just
cool if he
really like
killed off
stopped it.
like if he killed off more of them.
Hmm.
Even if he got like what's his name, Icarus's powers, because he killed himself
Yeah,
anyway. Spoiler alert.
pretty
But
much.
if he got Icarus's powers, that would have been cool. And if he wasn't such like, because it seemed like they were trying to make it that he's not the ultimate bad guy.
All right.
Because he was just like, no, we're trying to survive too. Like it's not our
Yeah.
fault. The Celestials made us,
Mhm.
and they're trying to kill us off. But we have a purpose, and you just trying to kill us off. We're trying to survive. So that's what
Yeah.
that's what I liked about that, but or didn't like about that. But I think what made this movie to me was the two end credit scenes.
Oh,
Those to me,
definitely.
yeah.
But the last end credit scene, that one I wasn't like I didn't like knew about. Like I knew the first one because they spoiled it from all the shit online.
Oh, I didn't
But
see it. Thank God.
the last one I didn't actually know it was gonna happen type shit.
Yeah, and I was trying to figure out who that voice was, but I think I found out who it was. But
Right.
yeah, because to me was what happened. So the first one, like, see, I think with the end credit scene, and again, spoiler alert for people because it's going to be the two end credit scenes we're talking about. But
Mm,
when they mention like, oh, this is Thanos' brother, fantastic. Like that's why I was just like, all right, good. Now you bring in a little more, and you're bringing the
yeah.
brother, so everyone's going to look at the brother like, are you as powerful, or why do you look different? So they
Mm,
might give the whole thing like, because Thanos is technically an eternal and a deviant, so that's why he looks how he
alright.
looks. But yeah, that was cool. And then you get the end and the whole thing too with that one. Pip the Troll that was voiced by Patton Oswalt. Even though I
Right.
wish he was still Modoc, like he is in the cartoon.
Yeah.
But Pip the Troll, when I saw him, he usually fucks with Warlock. That's why I thought he
Mm,
was Warlock. Like, oh
all
shit,
right.
okay. But once it wasn't, I was still kind of happy with him being Star Fox.
Yeah, no, I mean, they definitely gonna have fucking Warlock now was whenever they drop Guardians, so yeah, like
Yeah,
that's like bound to happen now, so it's whatever.
I think Guardians 3 is going to be fucking jam packed with people
Oh, it's
because you're
gonna
going to
be
have,
epic. It's gonna be
yeah,
like an Avengers movie. That's gonna be like the movie that ends whatever like that phase. That'd
yeah,
probably be like the last movie of whatever phase we're on now because I lost count.
yeah.
Like,
Me too. We're going to be 50 talking about this shit.
yeah. But that's
But
basically what's gonna happen, and there's gonna be a whole bunch of younger actors out there doing the roles, and we're gonna be old as hell watching
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Shit.
I was gonna say with
But
white
nah,
hair,
that
but we're both bald, so.
yeah, pretty much. Shit.
um,
I
nah,
think
but
I'm
the
trying to think
second
what
one,
else. The what?
see the second end credit scene. See, I was waiting for that in the movie because
Mm,
they made that whole like that Jon Snow guy. He's supposed to be a
oh,
character called Black Knight. So it was just like, why that was another problem with the movie to me. Instead of having the Indian guy follow, like the fat Indian guy follow the other
mm,
Indian Eternal, you could have put Jon Snow in there with the ebony blade that he got at the end,
all right.
and actually had like another cool member that's not an Eternal but could fight.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like, damn, what the fuck are you doing with him? But when you see the end credit scene, he's doing all that, like talking to the blade and hearing the blade, and then that one person at the end, when you hear a voice saying, do you think you could handle it? Now, at first, I thought that kind of sounds like the Watcher, the guy who plays the Watcher on the What If
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
But then I found out, like, nah, it's not him because I think the director said it, and it's Blade. So
That would be
Blade,
actually interesting.
yeah. So Blade was there because in the comic books, Black Knight and Blade kind of fight you know vampires together. Sometimes like it was like a little story arc or whatever. But the Ebony Blade, with the whole problem with that is that every time you kill somebody with the blade, you go into like a rage, and
Mm.
that's why he was scared to use it. So I was just like, all right, cool. When I found out it was Blade, but I was just like, do you understand the pop, the more of a pop if he would have showed the motherfucker?
Oh
Like,
yeah. If they would have
it's
shown, that would
Blade.
have been crazy. And that would have
Yeah,
definitely made me more happy for all the people that left, like the four people that was still in the theater when we were watching it.
yeah,
Like, to
yeah,
actually see
seriously.
Blade at the end.
But
That would have been actually pretty cool.
that only makes me think. So it's just like, is he going to be in the Blade movie now?
Who
I don't
knows?
know.
Maybe 'cause now we don't even
Maybe.
know because you still have the option of having Morbius be in anything because they already saying he's gonna be in the MCU shit. So
Yeah, but that's still Sony. So I don't know if Sony is gonna. Maybe Marvel and Sony will have a deal where Blade and him meet with Spider-Man, like the cartoons. That would be
I mean, it
fucking
has to
dope.
be something because they have to think of some type of villain for Blade that, like, I don't know, like Blade villains like that. I just know vampires. So it's like, what does he
Yeah, well,
really need a partner for? You need somebody, and Morpheus is probably the best one to think of to help him. Like,
to help him, and he could fight him too. Like if they did
yeah,
something like they did with the animated show,
mm,
where him and actually no, it was Punisher or was it
yeah, it was
Blade?
Punisher and Blade, and then it turned into Morpheus and Blade, and Punisher was like the side part, like they broke them apart. All for Spider
Well,
Man. That's a crazy show.
yeah, I know. It's fucking crazy. But the funny thing would be if they are making a Midnight Suns movie with Ghost Rider,
Mm,
Blade, Morpheus is in that in Midnight Suns, and you could always throw Doctor Strange in there, and especially if it's evil Doctor Strange, that
yeah.
shit'll be dope as shit.
Mm, right. It definitely gonna have a lot of shit.
Hell yeah. But that's why it was just funny to me when hearing all the reviews about the movie. I was like, yo, it cannot be that fucking bad. It
Yeah, no,
cannot
it
be that.
definitely it's
But
still more watchable than watching any of the first two Thor movies. Like I'll watch that probably more. Just
hmm,
because it's something different.
that's interesting. Once I saw this one, I was like, I want to go back and watch all the bad Marvel movies
Mm,
and see if it's as bad. Like, I want to see, is it as bad as Iron Man 3 or
all right.
Thor, like
See,
1 and
Thor
2?
the elves one, I don't hate that much. I like only because it had more action. But
Yeah,
besides that, like the rest of the story didn't matter. I just like the action scenes. That was pretty much it. Like, like
yeah. And that sucks too, yeah, because they really fucked up the villain there.
mm,
But the cool thing was that you got to see in that movie, you got to see how Loki was sad about his mom. Like you get a little bit more of Loki
yeah, yeah.
personality in that movie. But yeah, I don't think. Damn, I don't know because I was even saying how like I didn't like the Marvel movies so far a lot. Like
Mm.
Shang-Chi, I didn't think was that great either. I didn't think Black
No,
Widow
it's
was
just
that great.
don't have a lot of memorable shit like that.
Yeah,
It's like standard movies, yeah.
what's
And
up?
it's not fair to those movies though, in all honesty, when you come after just ginormous epics after epics after epics. Like, how
Yeah,
do you fucking top it? Like, y'all coming after a major phase of just everybody that holy shit. And I
yeah,
was like,
and
y'all had to start up the rally again, basically.
yeah,
Like, you have to make us want to be like, oh yeah, 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 and it's like, nah, we know Black Widow, you don't matter. Like, you're done, you're dead. Like,
yeah,
everything that happened after the movie matters because like goes into like Hawkeye and shit now. But like
yeah,
it's like little shit like all these movies so far have been more of like lead ups. Like it's just like, here, we give you this and this is what could possibly happen. Like that's why
yeah.
Spider Man's gonna be so epic because it's finally back into the shits of like where we just left everything. Like, wait, there's still shit going on. Like Spider Man had
Hmm.
a whole movie end where we just like don't know what happened. Like, like shit like that. So there's still mad other stories that you have to tell.
Well, I think where they're going with it is that, and it's kind of smart, as that they're going more cosmic. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like the first 10 years it's Thanos getting these Infinity Stones that could do all that crap. Now you're having a multiverse who is a guy is like a master of time, and then you're bringing the Celestials a little bit more that are technically creators. But and this is another thing too, and I'll go on a sidetrack, but there's a storyline called Paradise X and Earth X where it's like an alternate storyline, but the storyline was um, there's a celestial seed in every planet, sort of kind of how this movie was saying, but the superhero, like the people that became superheroes, are like antibodies to protect the Earth so it could grow and kind of like leave Earth, like it's not killing Earth every time it you know arises. And the person who's supposed to be like the combatant to the Eternals
Mm-hmm.
is Galactus, because they said in that storyline that the Galactus kills planets to kill the celestial seed. So that would have been dope.
Makes sense. Yeah, that would have actually been kind of cool. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
Yeah, that's a
damn, that actually would have been crazy to see like Galactus just pull up like, oh no, I'm killing all y'all.
yeah.
Like,
They could they could kind of still do it, but I don't think they're gonna bring in Galactus until after Fantastic Four. So
definitely
damn,
not into Fantastic
I
Four.
would have loved to see that shit.
Nah, because that was a cool visual. That was one of my favorite like visual parts of the movie is when the sky started doing the shit and then you just see the giant thing. I was just like, that is dead ass probably the scariest shit you could probably see ever. Like,
Hell yeah.
It was like, oh, hey, there's a giant fucking robot thing in the sky. Like,
So the big ass head looking at me. Yeah, that shit is crazy. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like certain things of that movie, I feel like they what they should have done, they could have explained everything in the first probably 20 minutes. Just
yeah,
make it like, okay, they come to the planet, like stop going back and forth, and
yeah, it
then
kind
just
of
go
threw me off in the
present day.
beginning. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you
that
could have
shit was
done
weird.
everything
Like, because in
present
the
day.
beginning of the movie, I was like, wait, did they go back? And I like, 'cause I missed, I guess, when it said like whatever time they went back to, and then back to present day. Like, I missed that part, so I was like, hold on, I thought this person was dead. Then I was like, oh no, this is a flashback. I was like, all right.
Yeah,
Like, I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, but besides that, like the rest of the movie, like it's worth watching. Like, you can watch it, get through it. I mean, longer than I expected. I was that ass not expecting a 2.5 hour movie.
yeah.
That
Well,
was
I
my
was expecting it. I just feel like every comic book movie now is a fucking 2.5 hour movie.
And I was like, how did this movie keep going? Like, at a point, I really thought the movie was about to end, and then it was just like, nah, that was like the break, and now we gotta like the
Oh
whole
yeah,
extra movie. Like, fuck.
yeah.
Because I
That,
had
but
like I said, like I was into it, but I wasn't like fully invested in a character or anything like that. I didn't care. Like the little girl, boy looking person, like he was just being man whiny. Like you started off kind of cool and then you became whiny.
yeah.
Like yeah, it was like little shit like that.
And they should have had more fight scenes because when I was looking at the fight scenes, especially with Icarus and stuff, and it
Mm.
had like when they're in the woods, I was just like, yo, that shit looks dope. Like
Yeah, it
how
was
he's
good.
just like flying around and using the lasers, and I like him that he wasn't super powerful. He was
Mm.
just, he's the one that could fly and the one,
Yeah.
whatever. But I was like, damn, that shit looks really good, and that's why I was just thinking about X-Men. I was just like, oh, I
Mm.
got to see something like this with
That's
Cyclops and
the
all that.
only thing. I mean, they were doing all that shit right. Like they had the girl that had the super speed. Like she's the deaf one. Like she's actually deaf
Yeah,
in real life.
yeah,
Like her, like I was like when I watch all the time I see like shit like that is like see when they do speed the right way how cool it looks. Like that
yeah,
whole fight scene, I was like that was perfect. Like everything made sense. It looked right. Like you don't have to overdo it. I don't need to see them actually running. I don't need to see how their body looks running. I don't like all the
yeah,
stupid things that they do wrong.
exactly.
Like
And they used that super speed so right. Like when she
mm,
was fighting Icarus, like she doesn't have. Well, I think they all have like some kind of form of super strength, but
mm,
nothing on that level. And it was just like, okay, she was hitting up the guy and he was kind of taking it, and then she'll do like a big power punch using the force, like a speed force,
yeah.
kind of like boom, because she's going so fast. Of course, the impact is going to hit you harder. So I was just
Mm,
like, yo, they know how to do speed right. All the movies. That's why
yeah.
I hated when I saw the X-Men Quicksilver in WandaVision. I was like, please don't do that. Please. And
Yeah,
people
just slow him down because that's
yeah.
his shit. That's what he does. That would have been funny as hell.
Oh, that would have
Man.
pissed me off so much. But I'm happy that he was just a dick joke that
Yeah,
everyone's so mad about.
like it's good to see like slowly they just like Marvel got to the point where they're that arrogant where it's like nah we're gonna send jabs at DC, we'll
Yep.
send jabs at our own people. Like we
Yeah.
don't care, like that's what pretty much they're doing.
Hell
Like
yeah.
we just want to let y'all know we do it perfectly, like we always gonna be better than y'all.
Exactly. And of course, they
Man.
had to throw in the jabs of Superman. He was like, I don't wear a cape.
Yeah,
Like,
man, we ain't got no
right?
time for that. So man needed his cape throughout that whole 4 hour movie before he could actually do anything.
Maybe he'll use it
That
like
was too funny.
fucking Superman 3, where he like threw his cape and it became like an invisible thingy. I don't know.
Yeah, he had
The
the S.
original
He took
movies.
the S out. Of it.
Yeah.
They were like, what the hell? It was a
Shit.
great movie
But
though.
be honest though, like I didn't think this movie was horrible. I didn't think it was the greatest movie ever. But what I'm not concerned. I want to see where they're going, because if they're throwing multiverses and then they're doing like like a super cosmic thing,
Mhm.
I don't know if they're gonna have too much, or maybe they're just like, you're not gonna see the Eternals for a long time now, like until probably Thor or until Guardians. So I don't know. It's gonna be
I mean,
weird.
I could see that happen. Most see them for a while. Like They're gonna do a whole outer space shit. Like there really is gonna be just a whole like movie series joint just for outer space shit. Like it
Yeah,
has to be.
definitely,
And then they could do
definitely.
like one main just Earth, like how they had originally, like with just the Avengers, like just those people. You don't need 20 niggas. Just do like whatever Avengers or X-Men and have them fight people that they could beat, and then let the space superheroes fight the space people. Like just break it up a little bit and then bring them back together when you really need it for a Galactus. That will make it worth
Yeah,
it.
that's a
Like,
fact.
yeah.
No, that I think they're gonna do it right, hopefully.
Mm.
But Spider Man's the next movie, and everyone's talking shit like, "Oh, this is the worst rated movie," and then you're gonna see Spider Man like, "This did better than Infinity War." Everyone's gonna be
Oh
like,
yeah,
"Oh,
it's gonna be the greatest movie ever.
I don't
Hold on.
know who's doing this weird commenting shit." We have like a yeah, I just put it on the live, but I'm gonna take that off.
Say that
There we
again.
go. No, we got some weird comments on here, like a virus or something like that. I don't know. But
I
anyway,
probably yeah, fucking virus. My phone.
God damn
Like
this
my
app
shit
thing.
on my Instagram don't work. Nigga, I can't go on Instagram no more. So in the span of fucking like a few days of being bored, I was like, oh, I'll just comment on random like AEW comments. I think one of these nerds got me because I can't get back on Instagram now. Like my Instagram is straight black. It won't load or anything. It's
Is that
insane. I've
the
been
site
asking people
beyond
like,
site
yeah, my
one?
Instagram is fine. What?
You got site beyond site kicked out of Instagram.
Yeah, I can't go on Instagram. It's insane.
That's
So I'm
fucked up.
officially off of Instagram until I don't know how long.
Oh
It sucks.
man. So what's going on in the world of wrestling? That's what I want to know.
Shit. Besides fucking what, like 18 people getting fired? Like, I mean, that shit. I don't know because there's always the he say she say shit. So it's the budget cuts or non-vaccine people issues and shit like that. That's
Yeah,
pretty much like the main drama ish. And now everybody's trying to get like they were like, oh, you release 18 people, so now everybody's trying to get 18 different stories of, oh, like, is this true about this backstage? Now, everybody wants the dirt. Like, so now is
yeah,
more or less is gonna be throughout the days and weeks. It's just random shit. Like news will leak and drop like Keith Lee basically commented on somebody's comment and said like, oh yeah, I didn't want to be the Bearcat gimmick. Like I didn't want that nickname type shit. Like,
yeah.
everybody's saying their little things that they could say, and then they're gonna wait until their clause is up and they could be on TV again, and then they'll do their whole promo basically on WWE. That's pretty much really the big thing going on in wrestling right now, besides just regular wrestling shit.
They still didn't come out to say who's possibly buying the company or anything like that.
No, because that's not gonna happen until probably a couple of years from now. Like WWE is not gonna sell until maybe another 2, 3 years. Like they already gotta clean up everything. Like because a lot of the shit that I've heard so far is like there is a possibility that they might stop touring and they might only tour on weekends and then they're gonna
Oh,
only perform in Florida for the remainder of like a year. So it'd
yeah,
be like
buddy.
just yeah, like it would just be SmackDown and Raws all the time in Florida, and then they'll do like live shows in other states, like just as special things like that. So
Yeah,
it's like there's a lot of things because it's all about the money, about budget. Like basically, like from what I was hearing, like they were like, it's a lot of money for them to have all the trucks, all the equipment, like to move city to city as often as they've been doing, and then
mm,
going through the pandemic and then realizing how much money they saved throughout the pandemic is like that's one of the reasons why like right now like they moving different. Like they're not moving like AEW is trying to move in an aspect like they want to be a big company, they want to be successful, they want to be what WWE is.
yeah,
And basically WWE is that like, yeah, we're here. Like we are wrestling. When it comes down to it, you ask a casual or anybody, you say wrestling, they go WWF, WWE. That's what
yeah.
wrestling is.
No, that's a fact.
So yeah, so basically they're good. Like they just trying to figure out their own business shit. They'll get it all set. And then it basically is gonna turn around to all the people that say anything negative, they might or might not ever come back to WWE because they'll the people's gotten fired plenty of times before and then they come back within a year or whatever. Like it happens. It's just what it is. Like being fired in wrestling isn't as bad as people try to make it seem. Like to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move in a way though, because
Mhm.
if they do it in one spot majority of the time, then
Yeah.
they could do their pay-per-views in other states and they'll get more money because more people want to see it.
Yeah,
So
that's one of the things that they were saying. Like they'll get more people because of that fact. Like people will have to actually wait for them to
yeah,
come. So it kind of will help a little bit too and make more of an attraction out of it.
it does
So
suck for like like not casual fans, but regular fans that just like, damn, they used to come to my city a couple
yeah.
times a year. So that
Mm-hmm.
would suck, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of a good money move because now all those tickets, even the high tickets, if you go to
Yeah.
New York or Vegas or something like that, California, they could just be like, nah. If you want the high ticket, the up super nosebleed section, is still
Mhm.
going to charge you $200 for it
Pretty
because you
much.
want to
Yeah.
see it.
Nah, that's pretty
So
much it. Nah, that's a fact. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things that this is bound to just gotta see what happens. Like truthfully, like nobody even knows what happened to Triple H. Like Triple H might be dead and nobody's telling nobody. Like the only guy who had a heart attack, so whatever they did, like the recovery he had, and then he disappeared. Like there's hasn't been nobody really talking about him. Like everybody, every time you hear anything about Triple H now is more or less like, oh, like fake rumors, like him and Stephanie get into divorce, or like, oh, he should start his own company outside of WWE and da da da. And it's like, all right, whatever. Like people are just out here now just trying to make up and find whatever they could find. Is insane.
yeah, but I think that's how it is now. Everyone's trying to
Yeah,
like, 'cause like you said, they want the dirt, so they
basically.
think that they can find anything anywhere. And once they
And
realize what's actually going on, they'll be like, oh, okay, all the
yeah, it's
rumors were
not.
wrong.
Yeah, it's just a lot of shit that is not crazy. It's like how you asked about like the promo that just happened on Rampage with Eddie Kingston and Punk. Like
Yeah,
that's a mixture of shit that happened years ago when they knew each other, like at Ring of Honor. So it's like could be fake and real. Whereas like, oh, maybe they do but don't really like each other. You know, it's like that's what makes those two some of the best people to cut promos because you're stuck in the middle. You're like fuck, I don't know if he really was like saying that or like you don't know. Like you just kind of have to go with it, and then you see like yo, somebody really get punched in the face in the middle of a match. That means they maybe don't like each other that much. You know, like it's
yeah.
shit like that. That's what makes it fun. Those are the
The
fun
thing,
aspects of wrestling. Honestly,
in your opinion, when they do that, do they ever get? Do you think they ever get scared of like, if I really knock this person out, that is going to be a problem with the company? Like this person's not supposed to lose, but I want to throw a real jab out there.
nah, I don't think because they don't really throw it to that point where it was like they really trying to hit them. Like all
Yeah,
the times you hear like when they say like, oh, they give them receipts and shit like that, it's always from some other shit. So, like the Undertaker story that I forgot what it was that somebody like punched him or hit him with a chair, or whatever, one way, and it hurt him, and it was the wrong way. So he, all right, I'm gonna get my receipt. When he was gonna get his receipt, he just hit him with the chair in a different way, but it was just like in a way again, and like you don't have to punch the person in the face. Like, fuck it, my receipt is I accidentally actually hit you in the nuts.
yeah.
Like shit like that. That's how that works. Like
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So, all right. Nah, but that shit was funny with the when you're showing me the King. What's his name?
What the
From the New Day.
King Woods? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
King Woods. Yeah.
and yeah, and talk about the head of the table and all that shit. Like I
No,
like
that shit was
Paul
fucking
Heyman where he
hilarious.
was just, where he put out his hand. He's like, put the fucking microphone in his hand. Like, that was
That part
so
had
funny
me
to me watching it.
dying. Yeah. Cause that shit, like, cause I'm watching and I see him panicking, like, he put the hand out. He put the, you know what the
Yo, I think he's the best fucking guy ever. Like, like if I wanted a manager, I would definitely choose him because he knows how to
he's
sell.
yeah, he's definitely like he evolved a lot. Like he was always a great manager, but this part of like this Paul Heyman, like actually acting more in a different way is so much more fun because it's like he never really acted like he was scared of Brock. Like he worked with Brock. He knew like him and Brock were good. So his
Yeah,
character wasn't like that. Like I like the fact that it's like he has this fear, like a Roman, like was like, nah, you're working for me type shit, and that's pretty much what happened. Like it wasn't a mutual agreement. It's like you work for me now, da da da, and that's how he acts, and it makes it more fun.
Yeah,
Honestly, yeah.
he plays it so freaking well. The
Mhm.
and I think it's obvious, but it's pretty much like they're gonna go with this for a while, but he is gonna switch back to Brock, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing because apparently XFL got pushed back a year, so the rumor is now there's gonna be a year later for The Rock. So Roman's gonna end up holding the title for over 2 years without probably ever losing.
Okay.
That's basically what they're gonna end up doing with him. So
Yeah, I think that should go for a little bit longer because I think his
it's
character and the whole getup, like the whole head of
yeah.
the family and all that shit, is still good.
I mean, it's good because they haven't done that in forever. Is one person in any wrestling company really like been a champion for mad long? Like actually a 2 year run of like have somebody be dominant for mad long. Like make a character like that and then fuck it. Like yeah, The Rock is gonna suck because it'd be like oh Rock's part timer, but it's still like fuck it. You get The Rock versus Roman. You get a moment. He beats him. You could get Roman off of TV for a little while for him to have his days off because he's worked for so long doing what he did. Make him
Yeah,
come back. He could beat The Rock to regain the title, and then we just go from there. And then what you
yeah,
do is, and within that time though, you have to have a young babyface star coming up, somebody that is gonna beat Roman and be the babyface that everybody likes to now be the new, thing. And that's how
yeah.
you keep shit going.
That's
That
definitely
would be the
true.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to
Shit.
fucking see that. Like I said, I want that storyline to go a little bit more. I wish they would have built
Mm,
up. Like I wish they had more family to build it up a little bit more. But
yeah. Well, they do technically like that. That's what I mean. Like, because the youngest brother of the Usos, he's in NXT. So if it does go a whole nother year, and within whatever amount of months they want, if the kid is as good as they're saying he is, like you don't have to use him heavy on TV, but you could debut him to like keep it fresh, to like a refresher, like oh a
yeah,
third person type thing, and then you have him there, and it just keeps it going, like a little refreshing type shit. That's all. Because all you have to do is just keep the gimmick fresh. So it's like in a little while, sooner or later, like by after WrestleMania, you have to turn Naomi bad.
yeah,
If either fire her or turn her bad, and they're
yeah,
not gonna fire her. So just turn her bad and make her just be there. Like she doesn't have to speak. Let her
mhm,
be a different gimmick. It, like she has it in her. I could see her being a bad guy heel and being with the Usos and being a manager who could wrestle. Like that would
yeah.
be fucking dope for her. But I don't know.
Would you think that, like, say, if The Rock came back for whatever, maybe she's Black Adam, is he gonna? Would he be part of the family, or would he be like the baby face? Like he would have to fight Roman.
Nah, he has to come back and fight Roman because that's the whole concept of the head of the table. Is like is supposed to Roman is the Samoan now. Like there is
Yeah,
no Samoan in wrestling that's better than him. So the Rock can't have that because the Rock's the great one. Like
yeah,
like like that's what makes it what it is.
yeah.
That's
See
right
that?
there. That's just the story, literally right there.
See, I don't know. Like, I feel like it would be a. I don't know if it would be better. Like, I that would make way more sense. But to me, for The Rock to like, maybe if The Rock came back for like a little while,
Yeah,
became head of the table, and then he left again or whatever. Like say he becomes a guy, he has to fight Roman, but now he's the head of the table, The Rock, I mean,
yeah.
and then Roman has to be with him and be his side guy until they do it again, and then The Rock gets beat when he wants to leave, and then
I
Roman's
mean,
back at the head of the table.
which is kind of like that could work, but you could fix that a little bit and make it more like if you wanted to make the Rock the head of the table aspect, like you have him beat Roman, and then when Roman goes away, the Rock does stay there. Um, Technically, in a weird way, like the wrestling community, they don't like. It's not that they don't like the Rock, but they're not fans of people who are part timers and not always da da da. So what you do is it's easy to make him a heel because they're not gonna necessarily all cheer him. Have him go
Mhm.
back to being like Hollywood Rock as head
Yeah,
with the head of the table aspect, and
yes,
that Rock is funny, so he still looks good in the public image, and then he can make fun of the fans in a heel aspect. Like Hollywood Rock was the best face heel character ever. Like because you knew he was a bad guy, but you couldn't stop enjoying him. Like he
Yeah,
was just too enjoyable.
because he was
Like
because he was
yeah.
great at talking shit. He was great at
Mhm.
all the stuff. So
Yeah,
it
at the end of the
was
day, it was like, fuck it. Like he's making fun of the good guy, but it's freaking hilarious. Like you just got to take it.
exactly.
Like,
I
yeah,
just feel like that's the greatest thing about what like wrestling is
mm,
that the people want to like the bad guy. Like you have the bad guys that no one cheers for, but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
fantastic that they don't.
mm,
But at the same time, there's people like The Rock and all that where once they were bad and they're supposed to be the heel, but they're still likable.
yeah.
That people like them for that reason. But
Basically,
that's what to me, I don't know. I would love to see that though. I'd love to see The Rock come back for a little bit, become head of the table,
mm,
and do what he got to do.
that
But
would be dope.
but we were talking about this before, so we both agree that say if they do sell the company, we don't want Disney. But
Yeah.
do you think if HBO gets it because they're good with Warner Brothers,
Mm.
that they will go back to like PG-13 or never again?
They're gonna go back to that once they get rid of everybody that doesn't see the money aspect in wrestling. Honestly, the
Okay,
reason why they're in PG is because there's so much money in being PG.
of course,
Like,
yeah.
so, like that's pretty much why. Like, so it's not like blaming Vince. It's not. You can't really blame anybody. It's like fuck it. They got a board of directors. They started being a publicly traded stock. They went PG, and it's all about money. Like
Of
that's
course.
all it really is. So them going anywhere near like PG-13 or anything like that, it'll probably be outside of the WWE name brand. Like they'll make another company, make another show. Like that's like on the Peacock, like you have multiple other promotions. Like they have like indie promotions that were like already old shows and shit, but they're there. They have multiple shit, but they just WWE is gonna be PG forever. Like there's no money in going backwards to be like, we want them to curse on TV. Like, nah, like who
Mm,
cares? They they want the little kids and the family. Like when we go to Raw, like you're definitely gonna see a huge difference from when we got into AEW shows to when we go to
mm.
Raw and being like, I don't know if I could yell curses out loud with like probably three kids in front of me. Like it's a true difference within it, but as money though, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I think there are so many channels is because they're PG now. Like I feel like
Yeah,
back in the day when they were PG-13, they could only be on like USA or whatever the hell they were on because they
well,
could allow certain things, but now they could go anywhere. So,
yeah. I mean, that's being PG got them to be on Channel 5. Like that's basic cable. Like you just if you have a TV, you can watch TV. You have Channel
mm,
5.
yeah,
Like that's what
that's
you
true.
get
Yeah.
out of them not doing everything that we grew up watching and loving. Like don't get me wrong, like our era was awesome, but yeah, like now look where they're at. Like back then, like they were on Channel 9 at a like I remember when we were younger, like SmackDown debuted, it was on Channel 9. Channel 9 was UPN. Nobody
Yeah.
even knew what UPN was. Like Moesha was on UPN. Like, you know, like that's like the levels of shit. Like it's changed so much. It's crazy.
No, it has. I think, like I said, you're totally right with that. It was
Mm.
a money move, but you know, if I had that kind of money, I'll make the same fucking move. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Nah,
But
that's what they doing. Shit.
you know.
Uh,
Do you think
but
that because John Cena isn't back, right?
nah, he's like he does what he does. Like if he has like another movie or something that he needs to promote, he'll come back probably.
Okay. And did him and Rock ever had a big beef or no?
They did at first, but they ended up respecting each other after their first match.
Oh,
The
okay.
original the original rivalry was so much more fun because of the fact that they were actually cutting real promos on each other. Like they were really talking
Mm,
real shit to each other in the ring. And we all knew it. So that's what made it fun. But
yeah.
after that, then they got like The Rock ended up getting more respect for John Cena and shit, and they did their second WrestleMania match, and then from there they've been good.
Okay.
Like at the end of the day, I mean, technically the shit that started the beef is what John Cena's doing right now, anyway.
Do you think that since they're both in the DC universe, that if they have a movie together, they'll come back to wrestling together? Not together like as a
That'd be
team, but
that'd be fucking hilarious, honestly. Like that's too much star power right there. Like honestly, alone, like if they had ever announced like a John Cena Rock being on a Raw or SmackDown, that show would get mad views because everybody will just watch the whole show just to see when they're gonna come on and what they're gonna do. Are they gonna be coming after each other? Like, there's too
mm,
many possibilities. Like, the WWE has names that they could pull still. That is like, nigga, if we say this name is gonna be on TV, everybody's gonna watch us first.
yep,
So it's like,
yeah, that's
uh,
a 100% fact.
yeah,
Like, yep,
it's just
we'll put
that's the
certain
way it
names
works.
on there. Like
Like,
you
say
say
Stone
Stone
Cold,
Cold, and he's not gonna
yeah,
even wrestle. He's just gonna come up there and talk.
that's and literally that's all it is. Like 316 day has became an actual thing. Like Monday Night Raw is gonna be lit because Stone Cold is gonna be there and he's gonna drink beer and stun mad random people. And it's like, fuck it, just stun all the people we don't like because that's what makes the fans go crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like,
See, I would like that. Like, I don't know how he feels. I don't listen to his podcast like that. But if Stone Cold came back as like a manager for a little bit,
yeah,
like just
nah,
managing somebody, that shit'll be
that's
dope as
he
fuck.
would never do that. He said he's never coming back like that. Like
Mm,
unless he could come back in the way that he wants to come back,
yeah.
he's not coming back, and that's basically why he's never coming back because he can't
And he,
wrestle no more.
oh, okay. I was gonna
Yeah,
say because he wants to wrestle or can he wrestle,
yeah,
but
he
I'm
can't
pretty
wrestle
sure he
anymore.
can't.
Yeah,
Damn. And who broke his neck?
well, from the neck breaks and then all the other shit, like he had a I forgot what was the how the last injury happened, but basically in his last match he was injured and like from that like he found out that day that he was basically done. Like that was
Yeah.
gonna be his last shit. Yeah. So
Yeah, that sucks, man.
mm,
Look. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know. But I it's funny because it's like to me, I was like, I want to see where they go with it, but I know, like you said, it's going to be like years and years and years.
yeah.
But I don't know. I hope they just make the right move. Like I understand it might be a money move, but
Mm.
in my opinion, if they went to HBO, it would be a way better money move than well, damn, Disney is a powerhouse, so
Disney's
maybe
the
not.
pop and you have more kids there, so they're like, oh look at like from what is it? I think well technically 2005 was their last hardcore bloody hardcore match like year that they had
Yeah,
one. So I'm gonna say like probably '08, '08 from like '07, '08 on is was heavy PG. That was like the heavy John Cena beginning of his run. Like
yeah,
once you get like after you get past once they stop saying the F you and
yeah,
like John Cena goes from being thuggish to like American Marine boy, then you
yeah,
get heavy PG where you really don't have a lot to worry about. Like you can let little kids watch it, and it's like how we watch Disney shit. That shit goes over their heads. They don't even catch all the little jokes and all the adult shit that gets said.
yeah.
So
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know. So I got to figure out the exact day that Spider Man comes out because
yeah,
that we have to do a podcast like the night of because that shit is gonna be everywhere.
nah, definitely. I should have looked it up. I'll look it up when I get a chance because
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
know
have
I
to take
want
the
to.
day off after
Yeah,
that.
nah, that's a fact. Fuck, because I'm like it's not Christmas weekend. I think it's the week before Christmas. It's one of those two. I don't know. This shit is crazy. I can't wait to watch that shit. To be honest.
Yeah, no, that shit. That Doctor Strange are the two movies I can't wait for. And even
Yeah,
Ant Man because I want to see Kang the Conqueror again, but I want to see if he comes out in Kang gear this time.
that's a
So
fact. Like I want to see that, honest, but because I'm just like wondering, like, all right, I kind of have an idea how the movie's gonna start, but it's like that movie's gonna be 2 hours and 45 minutes because you have to at least give 25 minutes of him getting interrogated, him trying to be like, I want people to forget that I'm Spider Man, then the Doctor Strange parts, everything. Like you have to build up the right way to bring in the multiverse. Like please,
Oh,
like
oh, of
yeah,
course. But to me, see, I don't mind like when movies like that. I'll watch it for 3 hours. I don't care.
oh, hell
I
yeah.
just, I can't drink beforehand because like, in Eternals, I was like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Man, I was like holding it in for mad long.
That's mad funny.
But
I actually did the opposite. I actually didn't drink this time. I was like, I drank water and I just smoked, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just go. But I
yeah,
freaking
that's all I drank. That's all I drank too. I drank water, and that was just killing me at the end.
mm, it's horrible.
Sorry for the shaky cam, people. I'm just trying to put on my coat. It's fucking freezing in PA. Lord
Yes,
have
I
mercy.
can imagine because it's like 30 something degrees out here.
Yeah, and it is like literally freezing outside. But oh, so anyway, to the Bacon Fest.
Bacon.
Somebody I forgot, damn, the name that they were saying, right?
Mm,
So we heard it in the Bacon Fest, and what they do in the Bacon Fest, like they close. There's like the middle of this place is like a circle, and it leads out to four streets. So they block out the four streets, and they
okay.
just put like vendors. Like they have and they try to like do everything bacon, like bacon wrap chicken and bacon, and like there's food, there's drinks, and all this shit. So people are getting lit, and this it's for
Mm,
kids too and everything. But what happened? There was this thing like they were like saying a name like "Let's go Brandon" or something like that, right? And then
mm,
people just started screaming it, and we just started saying it too. Like, what the fuck is that? So we took a we had to take like a bus to from where we parked our car and all that stuff. So on the way
okay.
back, like people were lit in the back like of a school bus. So we're just sitting in a school bus and people are doing the same thing. Let's go, Brandon. And then someone said, "Fuck Biden," and then all you hear is, "Don't say that." And I was just like, "Oh great." There's gonna be a fucking fight on the school bus with adults, and I have my nieces and nephews here. I was just like, "This sucks." And then you could
Oh
just see it
man.
like, "Oh, you don't like that I said F Biden," and we're trying to figure out what the fuck is this "Let's go Brandon" shit.
Mm,
So I had to I'll get the right story in the next podcast, but I think it was something in racing that recently I think the racer was called Brandon, but
mm.
the crowd was saying "fuck Biden."
Oh,
But
okay.
the interviewer is saying, "Hey, they're cheering your name. They're saying let's go, Brandon." So it was like a little, I guess, because it's a little country out here. So it
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
little
yeah.
country joke like that I didn't get until my sister told me. I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like,
That's
"So
pretty
that's a new
funny.
joke that people are gonna
Yeah,
start saying like, let's go Brandon,' but it's really fuck Biden." Like,
basically.
wow, that shit is crazy. But I think you would have. Well, I don't know how much you like bacon like that.
No, I mean I like bacon, but I wouldn't go OD like creative. Like bacon on chicken, I would try just because I like both.
They have bacon
Like,
on a stick. They had
yeah, like
chocolate
shit
covered
like that.
bacon.
See, like I
But
would try that. Like I would try the sensible shit, like not the things that's like, nigga, I don't think bacon should be on that. Like, like
no, they do have some of that shit. And I ain't gonna
mm,
lie, like all their food ain't that great. But
yeah,
at the same time, they're fucking like they have bacon infused liquor. And I try to like they were done with the brandy. So I was like, fuck, man. So I was just like, oh, let me get a bacon infused tequila sunrise. That shit
mm,
was garbage. I was like,
mm,
oh, I couldn't even finish it. I was like, God damn, this sucks. But then they sell cigars,
mm,
and I was like, damn, maybe I should get one because like I know you like cigars and your family and shit.
yeah, yeah.
But I was talking to them, I was just like, they have like a bacon like I guess bacon flavor or something like that in a cigar.
Mm,
And I smelt it and I was like, it doesn't really smell like bacon. But I was like, you know
mm,
what? The best cigar I ever tasted was a Henny bacon, a
yeah.
Henny cigar, my bad. And then she was like, oh, maybe something like this. And she pulled out like a brandy cigar. And I was just like, it smells good, but I don't know if it's the Henny one. But I was just like,
Yeah.
damn, I'll try again later. Fuck it.
Nah, definitely. Because freaking the Henny one, that's because one, you got to make sure, like, because like the leaf on the cigar, like the light ones, like the dark ones are harsh and da da da,
Yeah.
shit like that. That was one of the best things about the white Henny one. It was like that shit wasn't harsh; it was smooth. so it's
Yeah,
like easier to
yeah,
smoke and stuff.
that's on. Yeah, because I noticed that with this too. It was dark leaves, so I knew it was already harsh. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a connoisseur of that shit, so I was just like, I'm not gonna buy it, and then it's garbage. So
Yeah. Nah, those shits ain't easy. Like I'm not that great at it. I just take whatever everybody says. Like, oh, if it's good, I'll try it. And that's pretty much it.
yeah. And then we went to a game store, like another retro game store, and then the
Yeah.
back there was like a arcade room with all old arcades and shit.
Hmm.
So we're playing that for a while, but they had mad shit in the box, like um, Nintendo, Zelda, and Link in the
Hmm.
box in plastic. And I was looking at the price, and they were charging like $200, and then Metroid in a box, perfect
Yeah.
and everything, $500. I was like, get the fuck out of here! It's like I ain't
That's how
buying
much
that.
people will
I
charge
was
them
like,
for now. This shit is crazy. It's like you
hell
gotta
yeah,
get the box, but it's like a little beat up, and then you can
hmm
get it at a normal price. But if
yeah,
that shit
because
was
that,
like, it's like somebody really bought it in like 1980 something. It was just like I'm gonna sit on you for the rest of my life and never use you. Like, that's pretty much like, how do you have something that perfect for that fucking long?
yeah,
It is crazy. But
yeah, but it was
shit is
all good.
yeah. All right, man. I'm about to eat my KFC.
All right,
I'll
man.
get started.
All right, man. I'll see you later.
All right, I'll hit you up.
All right, peace.
All right.